appreciate the patience with everybody. Need a motion to go out of executive session back in regular session.
So moved.
Doug Harris, second.
I'll second.
Theodore, all in favor, raise your right hand. One of the things, we were in the back bar, we had a visitor from Judge Kelly, Superior Court Judge, and he was talking with us about the courthouse, some of the issues with our present courthouse. Yeah, and could be potential litigation. But so he was just going over some stuff with us on that. Nothing real terrible, but that's why we was back there for a while. And during the meeting, we discussed Diane Hallman leaving us. So we've got to have a associate probate court judge, and we have talked to Terry Turner, and he's agreed to do it for $4,000 a month from now through December the 1st. Because we got to have it. Just nothing else we can do. So I'm gonna need a motion and a second on hiring Terry Turner at $4,000.
So moved.
Doug Harris made the motion, second.
I second.
Theodore second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. Yeah, when we do need to vote on the salary now, the $4,000. Do I have a motion on that?
I make a motion that we give him $4,000 a month.
Theodore made the
sir.
motion. I have a second.
Second.
Doug second. All in favor, raise your right hand. That's all taken care of with that. Do we need to do anything else on Hallman? What we did that while ago is all we need to do.
Judge Holman resigned early so that we could avoid a special election. The board's president for the remainder of the month.
Yeah, Ms. Diane, she resigned early so we could have this election put in with the November election. So we want to obtain paying her for the rest of the month of July. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Charlie made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Theodore second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous. I think that was all. Is that all? Did I miss anything, buddy? That's why I got me. Now, I guess we're back on the item C, splash. We're going to take that line item by line item, or
Yeah, that'd probably be the best way.
best thing to do? Do we have any additional copies, Robin?
No, sir, but I can make some.
Could you take a minute to do that?
Okay.
Be just a minute. We're going to take it line item by line item on Splosh. The first item on is Appling Healthcare, $593,095. Air handler replacement, relining of pipes, $1,650,000, a total of $2,243,095. And then off to Murat, I got on there, it says reduced by $600,000.
No, that's reduced to.
Bruce, two.
Reduced to $600,000.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was talking about, that we need to double that figure.
Can somebody tell me what kind of pipes y'all are relining?
All the drain pipes
All the drain pipes?
within the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that'd be
he
fine.
just told me it's
But-
drain pipes, it's okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty integral to y'all's operations, isn't it? Mike, you and I went to a meeting over there. You remember that months ago and talked about that, and that's pretty important for them to continue what they're doing. I agree with Charlie. We need to at least move that to 1.2.
That's not for $200,000 a year, and that ain't gonna get a lot done, but I'm telling you, it needs to be done. We can't help anything that we need any worse than we need our hospital in the county.
For a total price of 1.2?
You said leave it at 1.2?
1.2. Change it from 600 to
1.2.
1.2. Yeah.
All right, I got the total 2.243095. So what you're talking about changing to, Charlie?
1.2 million.
Mike, whenever you're looking at this thing, the SPOS committee had that figure on the right-hand side of each one of them. This was the original amount, is the amount that was requested by the entity that came before the SPOS committee.
Right, I
Okay.
understand that.
All right, and then the amount that says reduced to, or whatever that amount is, was the recommendation of the SPOS committee.
And we're
So
gonna,
now you saying you want to,
we need to up that 600 to 1.2 million.
so that make the total what?
1.2 million total.
Instead of 2.2?
Yeah, you can forget the 2.2.
You see where it says 600,000?
Yeah.
Reduce to 600,000? We're gonna add 600,000 more to that to make it 1.2 million.
You start your new column way over on the right,
Yeah.
Mike, and whatever we finally agree to, if you put that number over there, and 1.2 million is the number on this one.
Okay. Anybody else? On that line item? We'll go to number 2, City of Baxter. Remodel law enforcement, 1 million. Upgrade streets and drainage, 1 million. Upgrade water parks, 1.5 million, 750,000, reduced to $2,750,000. Anybody got any question on that?
2 million.
No. As far as the remodel of the law enforcement, has anybody talked to them? What's the plan on, they're currently at the sheriff's office still, right?
Right.
What?
Talking about going down there to deep, far end down on the corner down there.
Where the investigators are now?
Yeah, that's what I heard they were talking about.
That was the last that I had heard on that particular part of it as well.
But if they're not going to move down there, then why do we want to put this in there?
Absolutely.
I would say let's, and we ain't finalizing this today, but I would say let's change that $2,750,000 to $2 million, and let's leave it right there for today.
Because they might not even move.
Well, the water park part is one thing that, we all just got the information in there that we got some issues that we have got to have that's gonna cost a pile of money. And we need to go trying to make arrangements for it. And it's being handed down by judges, not people just wanting something.
So you're gonna reduce the city to $2 million
$2 million.
based on history on what the city's got in the past and
Well, it ain't based on anything except we're trying to put the money where it needs to go the worst. And the changing of the buildings and stuff that they're doing is something that they're gonna have to do, because that's doing with law enforcement. But the remodeling of the splash pad and all that stuff is stuff that hadn't got to be done. It's a won't.
Yeah, I think, from what I was told, we'll want to add on to that splash pad.
That's what it say.
Right.
Everybody got it straight?
So it's gonna do 2 million?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I got, changed it to $2 million. Item 3 is African County Development Authority,
That-
Rock improvements.
Dad's at 500,000.
So the total on that is 500,000, Charlie?
That's right.
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions on that? Not, we'll move forward. Volunteer firefighters, SCBA, and somebody's going to have to school me on what that is.
Yeah, you
Self-contained breathing apparatus. Yeah.
Okay.
You-
Fire suits, building repairs, it's been deleted. Pagers, 50,000, add back 25,000. radios, 60,000, add back 30,000. Replacement truck, 400,000, add back 400. I guess it was deleted and added back.
Leslie, is that new trucks for every station? Is that what
No.
that is, or what?
Which line, replacement trucks?
Yes.
That won't get new
Yeah.
trucks for every station. I'm sure it's,
I think that's 5 new ones, like the one that Searcy's got, maybe is what that money is.
Flashlight deleted, paging system deleted, air compressor, replacement pumps, 32,000. Replacement tanks, 50,000. Dive team, 50,000 deleted, and training facility, 300,000 deleted. So, is the dive team gonna be under something else?
no, it just doesn't look like there's any money in the SPOS for it.
they're
They've got a budget each
self-funded,
year.
I think. Someone.
We've already got a line item within the budget itself
In our
for the
annual
dive team.
budget.
An annual budget.
So, from what I'm looking at, 1,287,000, is that correct?
That's what this total is, yes.
Let me ask you a question right here. Ain't we putting money, don't we buy a truck every year for the fire department?
We buy one every year for a
each-
different,
For a different fire
For a
department
different
every year.
firehouse.
every year.
Yep.
Well, why are we putting this in here like this?
That truck is a used chassis. That's the one that they were debating the other day. They originally put $40,000 into a used chassis. And I think they had to go to 60 because they couldn't find a chassis. I think that's totally different than the trucks that are on here.
Right. These trucks, Leslie, you said they're like the one in Surrey. They're, what's special about them?
Certainly has a new truck, it's a very nice pumper, and I think that's what that money's for.
Well, if you're gonna get the new truck, then you ain't gonna need to use one that we getting every year, are you?
To use chassis or replacements for the older trucks that
Trucks.
already are in service, they just take the whole tank and pump off of an old truck and buy a new chassis and put it on there. Or
I think we got two
chassis.
trucks at each firehouse.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we buy a new truck, here's what I'm looking at. If we buy a new truck like this is projected to do, then every fire station is gonna be too small. Cause now they ain't got room to park but what they got. So if they're gonna maintain us buying a used truck every year and then purchase a new truck, then every fire station is gonna be too small.
These new, the 5 new trucks, I believe, are going to possibly substations. Fourth District's got one, 144's got one. I think the ISO rating was not gonna cover those other stations, so they had to put a bumper in those stations.
For the
I
ISO
think that's the reason those
rating.
new trucks have been bought.
Now, this one, I would question whether or not it was anything to do with Surrey,
I know there's
just
something, but it's
because
still
this
up
does
there.
not start until 2024 on the splost.
Or where it should be.
And I would question that part, because that, is
What I'm
that,
saying is, though, is if we go
is the
buy a new
Surrey
truck like
truck
that, why do we have to
already
keep
in
putting that
Surrey?
other money in the
Trucks that we're doing.
okay, okay.
Four trucks.
So it's 4 trucks and not 5.
understand me either. Four trucks.
4 trucks and not 5.
What you see.
So you,
If you're gonna buy a new truck, why are we still buying a old
I
truck?
think you're going to the outline station.
If the old one ain't got the front bumper, yeah, I agree with that. If we're gonna buy a new one, let's do what we would buy the old one, cause they ain't got room to park both of them at the fire station, and next year they're gonna be wanting to.
Next year, were you over there?
Most of them got two trucks in
All of
there.
them's full of them. I just built one of them, they're all gonna room to put another one.
Take one of them old
I think
trucks.
say, I
That's what I
think
say,
these
where they
questions,
gonna
we need to be.
We ain't talking.
No, I ain't got no problem with it, I just,
I think probably Lincoln's the one that needs to answer these questions.
but on that, I agree with you on that. He'd probably be the one that, is he the one, is he came, his Linton came before the SPOS committee.
he's,
For our insurance rating. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is you may just hold off on that item and talk to him, and then you may be able to do something then. You may
No.
talk to him.
No, I don't have a problem. Let's go ahead and do it, because that's something that is needed. I mean, I was just making a point that I would want to make sure I understood, and I understand, but I'm still saying that, like I was telling Darrell here, that Well, just to make a long story short, it ain't been about 2 years ago, you know, out on, in my district, they was needing another shelter to park a fire truck under, because they had one parked way off over yonder somewhere or other that couldn't get there. And it got built, I won't say how, but I'll just tell you that the building got built for them. But I'm saying is, if we do this, they're gonna have some more trucks setting off over yonder, which is okay. The fire trucks is something that's needed, I'll go along with that. So let's just go ahead and move on with it like it
So
is.
y'all had talked to y'all about that?
Yeah, but if I could offer one other thing too, I talked to him personally between our second and third meeting. The paging system got deleted. In our third meeting, we tried to add it back because talking with him personally, that was one of his top priorities that he talked to me personally about. I called him the paging system. So I would just ask y'all maybe, are y'all good with it? Do we understand the paging system? Do we know the needs? I know that there's been discussion about spending a lot of money already on the paging system.
1.287, is that it?
Top priority.
Does the 1,287,000 includes that page?
It shows deleted and it's still deleted.
Yeah, it shows legal.
But it shows added back
No, it shows it added back
25,000.
down there at the bottom.
Mine shows added back 25,000.
Where is the,
Copy B, the paging system shows deleted.
There's a difference between pagers and pager system, though.
Paging system.
Yeah, but mine is showing the bottom line.
Now,
mine shows delete.
all right, now, was his priority the pagers or the paging system?
The paging system, because of the dollar amount, it was the system itself. Because of the dead areas and the receptions and all, he talked to me, and I talked to him personally about this, and that was his top priority. And I asked to get it added back in the third meeting, but it was not voted back in from the SPOS committee. But I just want to be sure that y'all are aware that he told me that was one of his top priorities. He did not get it added back.
What I think we need to do is we need to find out what's in our best interest of how to communicate with these folks. This is the
Yeah.
only county I know of that still uses pagers. Wayne don't.
How they sell it?
Well, most of them use the,
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we can use
Everybody's
a cell
phone.
phone. Now,
Right.
there's some dead areas here, but you got other ways to get in touch with them on a cell phone if you have to tell. I'm a pro of it.
Well, why don't you call Mr. DeLuce and talk to him about it, and because
And we
he's the one
need to,
that-
we need to get the sheriff involved.
all right.
And, you know, he runs 911. They're the one that gets in touch with them, so
Why don't you get her there too then, the sheriff and Mr.
we
DeLuce?
are talking. I talked to him.
All right.
All right, so we leave that one open until later?
Yeah,
Yeah.
paging system, we're gonna leave up until Mike can discuss it with Mr. Linton to look.
Well, we can just leave the
Leave the
volunteer
firefighters, yeah,
firefighters open
amount
until
open.
Okay. Any other questions on that? All right, we'll move on to 5, Appleton County Recreation. Repair fencing, $260,000. Youth complex, $2 million deleted. Surface parking lot, $250 deleted.
What parking lot are they talking about?
All the parking lots.
All the parking lots?
I believe, but
I think at the complex, I think is what he said.
You know which one they're talking about, Theodore?
I know the complex, but I don't know the other you're talking about. That's a lot of money.
It got deleted anyway.
Yeah.
It needs some sealer and it needs several things, but probably not resurfacing.
That's the whole
right now.
parking lot out there for $2 million.
New restrooms at Parker Park, splash pad deleted, walking track deleted. Anybody got any question on them line items?
But you got the pool there now.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom. Add 2, I see it, 550.
What size pool is that referring to?
The one inside,
Same size over there
same
now?
size over there.
Okay. So that's 682 total?
Does anybody know, not changing the subject from the pool, Doug, but I got a question on these new restrooms. Where are they talking about building them at?
At the
Over there
ballpark-
at the park.
Ballpark down there.
I understand over by the park, yeah, but where about by the park?
By the ballpark, by the field, by the ball diamond.
Oh, okay, so it's away from the shelter with all?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Doug, was you satisfied on the pool question?
Yeah, he answered my question, that's correct.
Well, we have said we weren't gonna build no pool over there. In other words, we got that one to be repaired, we got money to repair it, and the work's done been spent over there. The work's done been being done, and the money's been being spent. What I got here that they suggested in the next to the last meeting was $132,000 to do the fencing out there at the ball field. And the restrooms over at Ernest J. Park.
How close are they getting that pool up, Mike? You gonna have?
It won't be open no time soon. I don't see why we can't just put it on the splosh. It's 5 years out. We're gonna have to do something eventually anyway. And I don't. And plus, we need to put something back there anyway.
I can't hear you, Diggle.
I said, plus, if we're gonna take something out over a community, then we're not gonna replace it with something. I mean, it's needed, really, it's needed. I mean, it ain't no.
You don't think us building this new aquatic pool that people's gonna use it there though?
They gonna use it, Mike, but we need a community pool where we always had a community pool. I mean, you got folks you got a senior citizen right over there across the street from there. You got Head Starts over there. You got folks in the community that utilized that pool when it was available. I mean, I don't see, what's the big strain on not having a pool over there?
Personally, I don't see why we need two pools. We just building a nice year-round pool over here.
Well, I mean.
When go ahead, Theodore.
No, we said we was gonna, I don't never remember we said we're not gonna build a pool over there.
When we started this pool deal back in the other splosh, nobody voted, are we or are we not? We said we were gonna shut the two pools down and build a new one, and nobody didn't disagree with that at that time. We didn't vote on it, but it was kind of a general consensus. And it's not the location of the pool, or because my ideas was, and the ones that was here prior that will tell you what I'm fitting to tell you, was that my ideas was let's build the pool, the $2 million pool, out there at the recreation department, to where all of the children that weren't playing ball could be swimming. And the reason why it wasn't was two reasons. One, we didn't have no natural gas out there. And so since we didn't, the reason why it was decided to be built right where it's at is so that it could be used for therapy from the hospital and from the nursing home, the doctors and people over there. It was supposed to be at that time it was supposed to be one of them, whatever you call it, one of them slings or swings or whatever it is, so that they could use it for therapy with elderly people or anybody over there. And that's why the pool wound up where it was at. And we don't need two pools to maintain in Appleton County.
Well, you know, Charlie,
And it's not got a thing to do with what community it's in or nothing about it. That's in the middle of town.
well, my theory is on it, and I know I don't have a vote, so y'all can tell me to shut up. But the difference, the thing about it is, if we build a pool here, we build a pool here, then what we're gonna do when Graham comes up and say they want a pool, Searcy comes up and say they want a pool, 4th District wants a pool, Omaha wants a pool. I mean, we build a pool for the people in the county, a covered pool, year-round pool was for the people of the county. That's my only thought.
How long do you think the pool that we're doing over there is gonna last?
What, the pool is there now?
Yeah, the pool, there's,
I ain't got a clue, Miss Sarah.
does anybody have a clue?
Mr. Mike,
Yeah.
yeah, there's the pool's over there now.
It ain't gonna last.
The one that they're redoing?
It ain't gonna last.
I mean, what's the wear out in a pool? The equipment to run it? We got one in Wayne County, 75 years old.
What about,
Wayne County.
I don't know.
I mean, I will agree that we got information that it was a hazard. Come from two sources. One of the sources was wanting to sell a new pool.
well, that's,
The other one just flat didn't tell us the truth. And so
Well-
it's been checked and they ain't found nothing wrong but a leak, and they said it can be repaired with the money that they got. And I just don't understand why we gonna put money to build a new pool with all the other stuff that we know we
Well-
got to have, and stuff that y'all heard just like I did that's got to be done that we can't got no control over.
I
All right,
don't see.
Theodore, it's 5 years out. I don't have a problem with leaving the pool in here.
I mean,
So just for clarification, we just spent $50,000 to fix this pool, and we're just saying we only need one pool, so we're gonna spend this $50,000 pool and turn around and shut it back down? Or we're gonna keep it as
it ain't gonna last.
That would depend, I guess. I mean,
the
that money
money's
was
there.
that money was not county money. That money was sent here
I
to,
know, but I just heard we was just needing one pool. but
That's right.
We just spent $50,000 to fix that pool, so we're gonna shut it down on top of fixing this?
well, in 2 or 3 years if it went bad,
We
yeah.
have to do something different.
That's my question. What's the question? Are we gonna turn around and shut it back down next year, not open it up? Because we're gonna
Free
just
money.
have one pool, or are we gonna continue to service that pool and maintain it? And keep putting money in it as the pipes rust and corrode being 60 years old? Or are we gonna splosh it and replace it 4 years from now when it fails again instead of keep putting money into it? Or are we just gonna shut it down 4 years from now when this repair outweighs itself? So, I mean, I just heard that we're gonna wind up with one pool, but yet we're fixing the pool to reopen it. I'm just trying to get clarification.
We did, we got the money to try to get the pool reopened, and I think it's consensus of the board that they want to leave it open as long as
No,
we deem it safe.
you said it's the consensus of the board? We hadn't voted on that.
We talked about it, yeah, it was a
But-
consensus.
Who consensus? My consensus stay open.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, let's go there.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, we'll let it stay open. Let's go.
You
Keep it in
talking
there.
about-
Keep it in there.
Oh, okay, you better clarify yourself, okay.
We're talking about two different things there, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were talking about two different things. They
Keeping
thought you
one
were.
open or building a new one. It's two different things.
We're gonna keep the pool in the splosh,
Right,
right?
we've been on this pool thing for, this ain't the first trip, but we've been on it for pretty, 3 or 4 months now. So we either gotta make the decision to put this $550,000 in there or take it out. I mean, we can't just, we got to do one or the other. So.
Well, I'll say one last thing about it, and then I'll just let these other fellas, whoever, whatever y'all want to do. But see here, the statement was made in our last meeting, something about roads. Not word for word, but it's basically the way it was put, was that the roads was not that important, but the pool was. If you would get 2 miles outside of the city limits of Baxley and talk to anybody anywhere, ask them which one's the most important.
Mr. Charlie, but that's not really the point. You dealing with folks in the community that's right here. I mean, you got a road out there, it's what, 500 miles of road right there? I mean, we talk about folks that live in the community that need something to improve.
We got a pool right over here.
But that,
They ain't got another road to drive on except that one.
we got.
Y'all, let's just quit arguing and pull the board and see, and do whatever the board says.
All right, that'll be
There's no
fine.
use in us sitting here all night arguing over the pool.
Well, I'm not in favor of building a pool. I'll be first to start. The rest of
All right,
them.
why don't we just make it simple? I think we just need to call for a vote whether we do the pool or don't do the pool. So I need a motion. Somebody make a motion.
You can't make a motion.
I wouldn't vote. I just pool.
You can't make a motion, you just gotta ask us and we'll
Just
give
pool
you
just
a
pool the
nod,
board.
whether to leave it in or,
Can we do that, just pool the board? All right, all in favor of leaving the $550,000 home for the pool let me make sure I get it right here. That is right, $550,000. And it don't say on here Ernest J. Parker or Northside, whatever. So I'm gonna call her Ernest J. Parker. All in favor of doing away with the $550,000, raise your right hand.
Of doing away with it?
Doing away with it.
Not including it in the splosh.
Not including it in the splot. Raise your right hand. I see two people. Where's Doug?
Doug's thinking. Go ahead.
Is that a yes or a no, Doug?
He wants you to ask the other question.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor of keeping the $550,000, raise your right hand. I got two. Doug, I still can't see you. I don't know where you're voting.
He's thinking.
Oh, thank you. But I can't see him thinking. I know he's got a big head, but I can't see him.
Unless we have to take money away from somewhere else, if we're looking at needs versus want, this is actually a want, not a need. And if it has to be reallocated to other places, then we may have to reallocate it to other places. But as far as leaving it, you know, I don't have a problem leaving it in there as long as it's not going to impact things that are actually needed, not just wanted.
Okay, so y'all leave me no option but to table it again.
No?
No, he just said leave it.
He just
I
said,
did not hear him say leave it.
He said leave it unless we need to pull it from something
Okay, I'm gonna
else.
ask one more time. All in favor of leaving the $550,000, raise your right hand.
Leaving it?
Leaving it. Okay, it carries 3. Or you got it down,
Well,
Robin?
that's just poll, that's a poll, that's not, we hadn't voted on the whole thing, it wasn't a motion. It was a poll.
Are y'all?
And Mr. Chairman, if you're aware, there's a big difference in polling somebody and having an actual vote.
I understand that, yes, sir, I do. But we have a problem with some of the commissioners forgetting on these polls that we do. I just want to make sure Robin got it down.
Yes, sir.
Item 6, Appleton County Road Department.
No, okay, sorry.
What did you find out on the dam, Mark?
You're really not gonna know about that figure right there until you figure out all these others, because that's where anything that you spend is being took away from this.
That's correct.
But anything we left over goes to that too.
Road paving.
What you mean?
If we have any left over, it goes to
In the
roads
last-
and bridges.
Okay.
In the last several years, we ain't had
Not
nothing left
specified,
over.
okay.
No.
It's costing
Okay.
money. We pull money out of the general fund to do every project we've done in the last flush.
Well, that's our fault.
But
So y'all
that's
want
what
to
I'm
leave it at
talking- and this is our fault.
$12,181,000?
Yes.
All right.
Well,
Any other questions on line
wait a
item
minute.
6?
Yeah, I think we need to the verbiage there. I think various road paving, resurfacing, and dams and bridges.
That's right.
Add bridges on there.
Dams and bridges. Just, we may not have to
Yeah.
spend $2 million on something may come up on the dam that we don't need it, and we could allocate it to roads or
So
bridges.
you want to add dam and bridges?
Yeah, dams and bridges.
Not just-
Take out Lake Mayor's,
Take
not,
Okay, and add bridges?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
You don't never know when you're gonna have to. Was that
Yeah, we'll take out Lake
12,181?
Mayor's, dams and bridges.
Yeah. And the total's 12,181.
Yes.
That's what my paper said, 12,181,000. If y'all satisfied with that, we'll move to line item 7. Appleton County Courthouse plaster repair, $180,000, HVAC, $350,000, landscaping, $40,000, painting, $65,000, roof replacement, $150,000, engineering, $30,000, LED upgrade, $100,000, demolition, $40,000, sidewalks, $25,000, floor repair, $25,000, sound system, $20,000, sound absorption, $50,000, repair walls and doors, $40,000. That's a total of $1,115,000. Then off to the side, mine says reduced to $500,000.
Now, if we're gonna do what we talked about, do we really need to upgrade these to LED lights and?
That's a good question.
Well, let's think about the time frame first of this,
5 years out.
this thing, this SPLOST, which is 2024 through 2030, right? So 6 years, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about moving her out already.
No, we're talking about one office down there, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're still using it as courthouse.
But you won't be because
Well,
they're gonna use this.
Maybe not. I mean, this is possible the second one. You remember, I mean, so we're gonna have to do something other in order to maintain the historic preservation of the building itself, even if it is not a courthouse per se.
But you ain't gotta spend $100,000 on lights.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's already been reduced to $500,000. So, whatever the reduction in each individual area, I don't,
350,000 on it.
Can we generalize
on HVAC,
Yeah.
that
improvements,
seems pretty expensive.
courthouse
You're not gonna go upstairs nowhere.
repair,
Eventually, you're not gonna go upstairs.
or
Courthouse
anything,
repair and improvement.
Eventually.
what about
Yeah.
and construction? Could you put?
You know, I believe
Sound system, we don't need no
We do
sound
that,
system.
okay.
So just leave the 500,000 until we
Yeah.
see what's gonna happen.
I would say so,
Facility
because we, right now, it's being utilized.
Yeah.
There's got to be some things done to it.
All right, we'll leave the 500,000. We'll leave the 500,000 until we
Well,
know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, couldn't we generalize that, make it repairs, maintenance, and construction, and possibly include or work on our other project that we were just notified of, that there's gonna be a future need?
Well, no. right
That wouldn't
now,
work?
I think just say, repairs and upgrades and not put the individual
Individual
items in there
Right.
because, this one may cost a little more, this one may cost a little
Right,
less.
but like Sarah was saying, if there's gonna be some improvements we're not gonna make if we're gonna have a long-term plan of building a new facility, so maybe we could cut that number to
I'd say
a
leave.
couple 100,000 or so.
Well, it's already been dropped from 1.15 million to 500,000.
So just list it as repairs and upgrades
Yeah.
as needed?
Doug, that's kind of what we discussed, too, the heritage, maintaining the heritage side of the house, that's kind of what our thoughts were today.
Avencorty Count House repairs and renovations.
The county courthouse.
Repairs and renovations instead of all of
Yeah,
the individual
instead of all
items
those
down there. Okay.
individual items.
Still leave it at $500,000 for time being?
Yes.
Okay.
So the total is gonna be $500,000.
Correct.
Okay, we'll move on to line item 8, Athens County Sheriff's Department, purchase 3 vehicles.
Now, I got a
It's a damn
question,
vehicle,
and of
isn't it?
course, he's not here. Does he talking about 3 vehicles per year at $200,000, which would be $75,000 per vehicle each year? And then the 200,000 times 6 is the 1.2 million. Is that what I'm reading correctly?
Well, it says 3 vehicles, $200,000 a year
Right. That's
per
60,
year,
what,
for
$63,000?
each year.
How many years?
they don't cost that much.
$63,000 per vehicle? What you got, Wayne?
This is what what you're saying is what the verbiage there, I believe that's what you.
We don't buy Escalade, do we?
Look here, we put money in the budget every year to buy vehicles. What is this for? We put money in the budget every year to buy new cars. So why are we putting more?
What are they, Escalades or something, Tahoes or?
Part of that discussion was if it's SPOS money, then you wouldn't have to do it with the budget.
Yeah, but the thing is, we put it in there, and when, are we gonna take it out this year?
That's kind of what I got out of
What
that
kind of
discussion.
vehicles is it at
Well, it's,
60-something?
on this right here from the request from the sheriff's office was $45,000, as much as $45,000 for car and equipment.
That's for the sheriff
Only
cars.
For a sheriff car.
And we buying them, we put money in the budget every year for sheriff cars right now.
And this says 4 vehicles per year purchase, which would be the $200,000 off the 45 to 4 vehicles per year. This says 3. And of course, that would still add up 6 times 200 to be 1.2 million.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about
Tying into the new courthouse annex. Judicial complex.
that's a start.
Probably
Yeah.
the note I got there, though, the discussion was, yes, you're correct, that if this happened, then it would come out of the general funds. And the side note in our discussions was, yes, it could possibly come out of the general fund if we did this right.
Yeah, but if we got it in the general fund to buy cars with, and if we gonna do this, then we need to take it out of the general fund before we ever,
That's what I understood.
before we set the budget.
If this got approved, that's what would happen. in my understanding.
Well, not for this year, because this wouldn't go into effect until a couple of years from now.
Right.
Yeah, but I would want that in some mighty big
It's in
writing.
And signed
Yeah,
off
I'd want
on
that in some mighty big writing.
Well, you what we were talking about earlier, I don't know what, Wayne, do you have any idea what the renovation to the sheriff's office
Yeah, so
was?
y'all talked about this 1 million over here for the city. The plan was to allow him to build a new building.
He built a new, okay,
Make the move, and then the city would remodel and move out of the old building into this.
okay.
The sheriff would have to complete his project first and make a move to vacate this building for the police.
All right.
The
Thank you.
police would need the money to remodel if y'all approve the sheriff's budget to build
Okay.
the complex.
You talking about building a whole new complex?
So, no,
So
no,
if we did that, it's
no.
gonna cost the city, the city.
Add on to it.
A pod or
You
something?
take that million. and
But you
put it
know
on-
what? If we left that in there, it could help with that other, with the judicial complex, tying it together if we earmarked it for construction. I'm just throwing it out.
I want to know where he's going to put a
You better
shooting
not give him
range.
that damn, you don't want him spending.
That's coming out.
Did he say, Wayne?
He had discussed the property that we have
Shooting range is
across
out.
the highway from the airport.
The shooting range is out.
But it's gone. It's out.
close,
We're not
ain't it?
doing that.
Yeah.
It's too close.
Because,
ain't it?
yeah, because we've been through this and we haven't been able to find any land that's suitable for a shooting range.
Well, that,
That's what he told us. He said that wasn't so.
It's not.
Yeah, the only thing we had proposed was the 3 vehicles and the renovation to the sheriff's office. The shooting range was not in our final
right,
recommendation.
it was taken out, even though it's,
It's out.
that's the reduction to the 2
Yeah, I
million,
know.
150,000.
I see
Okay.
that.
So that's out.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get some clarification on the renovation of the sheriff's office. What's he gonna do there?
Wayne just told us.
New-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
New
We leave that, that could be.
Space area that he could relocate.
That's $1 million. That's a start.
Out the
And you can
current
do it.
police city police building out that way as our street.
No, the location, I'm not,
It would be an infrastructure.
yeah. An add-on, basically.
Let me ask you a question, and maybe I can get some good sense out of this. He's wanting $1.2 million to buy 3 new vehicles over a period of 6 years, 3 per year. We give him the money to buy those vehicles every year. What is the purpose for going to the point to put this in here and then having to deduct that out of the general fund? Why not leave it like it is? Because we buy the cars as they are now.
In my opinion, it was a sales tax purchase versus a property tax revenue purchase, general fund versus 1% sales tax.
There are no taxes on government vehicles, no how.
No, he's talking about where the revenue comes from.
Oh, for the revenue.
It's a 1% sales tax collection where everybody else pays for the sheriff's car versus, say, the property owner paying ad valorem taxes, and the general fund comes in. Part of it, most of it.
I don't see where that would make a bit of difference.
But it would free up some general fund revenue, which y'all may already be challenged on, but that's the.
If we cut the budget by that amount each year, we would be better off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when you get it on there, unless you get it right and big as them numbers on the hat, you ain't gonna get it. And signed by the
Just tell you
Supreme Court judge.
That's what the thinking it was, I'm sure. Anyway.
This body right here, when it came back to budget time.
Yeah.
Clarence. I know, that's correct. So you're leaving it at 2.15? Is that what we're saying right now?
Well, I think we asking for some clarification, if I'm hearing y'all right.
Well, we're not gonna reduce it then. We're not gonna change, we're not gonna up it, we're not gonna reduce it, so we'll leave it where it's at until we get the clarification. Is that correct? I
Well,
want to
that's
hear.
what sounds like, to me, it's what y'all wanting to do.
Okay.
For the
Well, I mean,
renovation and the shooting range.
We still gonna, well, the shooting range is gone.
Yeah.
Shooting range is out.
Yes.
All right. We're at, right now, if we leave the sheriff at 2,150,000, right now, we're at 20,500,000. If the,
Just put EMS.
if the EMS firefighters is at the same, we're at 20,500,000. If we leave them at 1,287,000 like was in here. So EMS, we got to add them. So we're real close to 21 million right now. It was my point. So if you leave EMS at 225, we're at 20,725,000.
Darrell, I would just offer up, the EMS came back to our last meeting with a presentation on the seriousness of those purchases.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're waiting on input from him, so we still have some room is what my point is. If we approve what we've talked about today, we talk about do the EMS the 225, we still have some room to maybe accommodate the,
When EMS came back, did they talk about the renovations of their building?
It would strictly be.
no, he's talking about
Two different.
two different things,
Fire
yeah.
department versus-
Right.
But the EMS was reduced, but we made some contacts and bid.
He's gonna have to this year.
If you,
Well, the EMS does need some improvement, the office.
The office does.
Yeah.
it does.
Have
If
y'all
you-
been to the EMS lately? It's
Yes.
a mess.
It's a mess.
And we need fire suppression in that building too.
Yep.
And that's something that we need to address.
if you put the EMS down there, what they got, how much is it?
Well, if we moved it, if we left trucks and building renovation, we could add some to that 225 for building.
Yeah, but now remember, you ain't got nothing back up here for the volunteer firefighters yet.
Yeah, that's if we put 1,287,000 in there. But we're gonna adjust, we can adjust that, but we're still gonna have some room is what I'm saying. You got any idea on a
That's what he was.
building renovation there?
I'm not sure, but I can get with Jimmy and Ryan, and we can get back to you pretty quick on that.
Well, that building's like a lot of other buildings like we were talking about earlier, and they're outdated.
It
The building's
absolutely,
getting in bad shape.
yeah.
It's just outdated.
Everything in that building is 1980,
Right.
my guess would be 200,000. All that.
That includes, you talking about fire suppression, would that include fire suppression, you think, or no?
In the EMS building.
I'll get
Now, if it's the pleasure of the board, I say we could leave that item open and hear from them, and hear from Lennon, the fire chief, and kind of pretty much have our numbers
Item
together.
9, right, leave open.
That's just my suggestion. I'm just one.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we've got all of it still open in reality.
yeah, it's
Okay.
all still open.
That's 2 trucks there.
Yeah, that's two ambulances and some,
EMS,
EMS.
over 110,000 each.
right, but it was reduced to 225.
And then it says add back to 225.
The other 2 trucks
Yeah.
based on coming back and saying the need was justification.
Not sure, so it come with 4 trucks.
And remember, we're talking about 6 years here. You know, four trucks in 6 years as, based on the number of miles that they run presently. And I don't imagine that's gonna be reduced much. We have to, you know, we have to consider, I mean, $110,000, that's, well, $450,000 for 6 years ain't all that much.
Nope.
What did I put?
Less than $100,000 a year. So that would be 1 year every year, I mean, 1 truck every year and a half, really.
All right, if I've got it down right, y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
And EMS.
Line item 4, we're gonna talk with Linton. And line item 6, we're gonna change number 2 to dams and bridges. And line item 9, we're gonna leave open for EMS.
And
Did I
on,
miss something?
yeah, on 7, we're gonna say Apple County Courthouse, that's gonna be a broad category of
Repairs and,
repairs and renovations.
yeah, I had it down there, I just missed it.
As
Okay.
needed.
That-
Anything else?
Did you put any kind of new trucks on number 11? Or a question about that?
No.
No, you're not gonna put new trucks.
That's the courthouse
It's,
now.
that's the courthouse. That's something we're gonna have to address. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to appoint able-bodied Doug Harris to that voting position at the ACCG Leadership Conference in September.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
I will have a motion and a second on Doug Harris to be the voted delegate in September at the leadership conference. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries unanimous.
No, sir. I abstained.
Oh, you did abstain?
I did, yes, sir.
Well, you vote for yourself.
I can't vote for me. I can't vote for me.
He approved everything except able-bodied.
Yeah, I wasn't able-bodied.
Yeah, the majority got you in there.
Yeah, we slipped you in
Yeah,
there.
the majority.
Doug, I'm gonna vote for you too, Doug. Although I'm gonna be there, I'll still vote for you. Is there any need to go back into executive session?
No, sir.
He said he was going.
Anybody? Anybody got anything they want to say before we adjourn? Thank everybody for coming. This meeting is adjourned.